Hi guys, this is Creative Kid here. There's no light because it's so dark right now. Sorry, I can't edit that light problem out, but this will be a good concentration video. So yeah, right now I'm doing all the math sectors. So we'll start with the easiest, adding. So, you know, when kids see a big number, a really, really big number, like 1,000, 2,000, plus something, they think they have to do that whole number. But here's what you should do. Draw a line there. And we need some advice from our expert. Go on.
You go from right to left. Make sure you're organized and your numbers are under each other. And then you just add up two numbers. Then you go to the next line. Add up two numbers until you get to the end.
And can you give us your last tip?
Here's the tip. If it's more than 10, you just put the one number down. And then you put your second digit on top.
So you hear those three tips, what he said in our last video, we're going to be talking about. From now on, I'm just going to do a bunch of videos on creativity and all that stuff. And crafts. I will be vlogging. Now I'm going to think I should make a second channel, a vlogging channel. No, I'll just post it, make a playlist of vlogs. Every new video will go in that playlist. So, yeah. Basically, this is what I'm going to do. Those tips he said we're going to be talking about today in this video. And we will be basically just trying to talk out how to add. First, we'll start with the easy part. Draw lines down, make sectors just enough, and make sure your parents make sure they draw those numbers clearly. And if they can't do it, I suggest they make a sheet using like circles if they have a hard time counting up. You could do it on their fingers, they could do it on their but I suggest if they're having a hard time, they should just draw the sheet. Just draw the sheet on paper with 1, 2, 3 dots and all of that for that number. Then they can count it up easily. Okay, so like that. Make sure their numbers are straight, because that's where the counting errors come in. And see, like me, I have trouble with all my math, so yeah. I have trouble, and that's not a problem with me. So I can say that I do have problems, and I'm not afraid to say I do. So, like, boost your kids' confidence by helping them and ask them, are you having trouble? And all of that. Give them more confidence and encourage them that they can do better and they can do this. Even though it looks hard, they can do this.
I better remember that tip.
Fractions, I thought at first they were so hard to do, but no, it's easy. First, you have your fraction, then you multiply it. It's really just that easy. And we'll be going over all of these sectors, okay? And we'll get our expert on everything here to tell us 3 things that we'll discuss on this video. So, basically, that's what you want to do. You want to make sure the lines are straight, draw lines, encourage the kid that they can do this, and make sure if it's over 10, just put a 1 there, And that's how easy. Make sure give the kid confidence that even though it looks hard, give them some of your math problems you had to have. Then they know that you weren't perfect either. Even though you were really good at it, tell them that you weren't good at first. Like, just give them some of the stuff you were bad at. So just basically do that. It's easier. And then they'll start to gain self-esteem and confidence that they can do this. Even though it looks hard, they can do this. So just encourage them. And that's for Adam. Now we're going on to a slightly harder, subtracting. And give us some video tips on what you should do with subtracting.
Subtracting is the opposite of adding. Where you make sure you got your two rows lined up again, number under number, and then you take the bottom number from the top number. And if the top number is smaller than the bottom number, you have to borrow from your neighbor and make that number one number smaller and put a 1 on front of the number that you're using to subtract the smaller number from.
Okay, so we'll just be starting with the part where you have to take away. Because here's the problem. With some kids, when they see a big number like 1,000 or 100, they think, same with adding, they have to do that on one. But no, just you do number over number. Like, here, use food as an example. Like, here, I'll do, I have 5 cookies, but I eat 8. I can't. I need to go knock on my neighbor's door and get some cookies and make that and cross that number out, make it a team, and then you subtract the number of cookies. Make it easier for your kid to understand, because easier, and just like we did on our spelling video, make them memorize it. Make them write it down if they have to. And if they're just refusing not to, make them write down that same problem and do it.
Maybe give them extra math.
Yeah, give them some. Don't be afraid to give them extra math. Don't be afraid, because that's what a lot of people do. They're afraid that their kid will hate them after that. But you have to stand strong and command your troops to victory. So that includes our subtraction. And can you give us a big one really good tip on times?
I have a multiplication table at M. I memorized up to 12 times 12.
And see, this is where kids think they can't do it. No, mommy, I can't do this. It's too hard. But you have to keep on trucking and say, you can do this. You can. No one is good at multiplication at first. See, the best thing ever is to, if they're just stubborn, make them write out a multiplication table 3 or 4 times to 12 if you have to. If they just refuse and they're grade 5 or 6, make them write it down all the way till they know. It's easy. Then, if your kid is having trouble, make them write down that multiplication table and help them. Then, when you if you think they're not ready for that multiplication table, just do your normal 2 times, 3 times to 4 times, 1 to 4. Make them write that down just 2 or 3 times. They should start to memorize that. Give them quizzes on that. Just give them a little quiz, and then they should start memorizing it. And That's what happens. Usually, kids think they can't do it then. And that includes our multiplication. Now it's time to do division, and then I'll just do a little bonus, which is fractions, because a lot of kids think fractions are hard. So give us not a tip, but a good explain, a depth, not the super in depth, but just an in depth explainment of division.
Well, there's two ways. Some people do linear. It's easier to do the old-fashioned way, where you divide into a number, and you go from left to right, and you divide the number into the first number. See if you got a remainder. If you do, you bring your second number down, then you divide that number into the number that you got in return, and once that's done, you continue to the third, fourth, fifth numbers. Depends on how many numbers.
So here, this is the same. A lot of kids say, "Mommy, no, I can't do it. Mommy, I can't do it. It's too hard." No, I did that at first. I thought it was too hard, but yeah, linear is only for pro kids who know they can do that. It's hard. Basically, here's what you want to be doing. You want to be saying, "No, you can do this." Boost their self-esteem on this. That's easier. Just boost their self-esteem, and they will be able to do this. You want to give them easy at first, then give them harder and harder and harder until they know they can do this. And after that, it makes your homeschooling job a lot easier, because now your kid knows he can do this stuff. And a lot of people say no, they can't do this when they first get it. But they can do this. They just don't know. And now, just a little bonus talk about fractions. Can you give us a little bit on fractions?
Fractions. If you're adding fractions or subtracting fractions, make sure your bottom numbers are the same, and then you just add or subtract the top numbers, and the bottom stays the same. If you're multiplying, you just multiply the top numbers, and you just put it over top of the bottom number.
And that concludes our video today. So keep on being creative.